You're fucking dying.
I'm fine. When I'm not talking and laughing, it's much better.
Oh, you mean when you're not doing the podcast?
Yes. I promise I'm going to try to get through this.
Okay. You promise you're going to try?
I promise I'm going to try. Once again to Know or Snark, where two former religious types and current snarks take a look at religious media on its own terms.
I'm Hillary.
And I am Josh, a.k.a. Not the Bees! Not the Bees!
Nic Cage show. Excellent.
Sorry.
Josh is dying, audience.
I have a major cough today.
Did you just swallow your lozenge?
No.
Oh, okay.
I haven't.
I thought you just...
I tucked it away for safety.
This is gonna be fun.
You're gonna have a lot. I'm sorry, this is another movie. You're gonna have a lot of editing to do around my stupid coughing.
Oh, it's a movie, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, I don't care. I'll leave it all in and then tell the audience, like, Josh ruined everything.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing today.
Okay.
Go for it.
Oh, Josh, hey. I don't know if you remember this, but we did a movie called Left Behind.
I do remember, because I had to write it all down.
Right. It's a movie featuring, I guess I should say starring, Nicolas Cage. It was made in 2014, and it is basically a remake of the Kirk Cameron one that started this whole fucking podcast ball rolling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we decided, since this is our anniversary show...
Our 1-year anniversary.
We should revisit what got us started.
Yeah, and I love it. It's a great
happen
idea.
to have remade a version of the movie we started with, so why not?
Because it was so good and successful the first time around. They thought, why not? Well, that's money in the bag.
And who would have expected that Nicolas Cage is going to get in on the Christian movie game, honestly?
Is he Christian? I
don't know. I guess enough.
I know I'm afraid of him. He makes me so uncomfortable. I'm so afraid of him.
Before we begin the breakdown of this super riveting film, let's describe it in one sentence. And I know you were having trouble.
I think I have something, but you go first.
Okay. Mine is possibly the only movie we're ever going to do where the bad guy is just God.
It's true. You're right.
And you'll, obviously, audience, you'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah.
But the bad guy of this movie is Yahweh.
Absolutely right. And you'd think it must be Nicolas Cage. Look at that face.
That's
He's
true.
got to be the bad guy.
He's got to be Carpathia.
Right.
Carpathia's not in this movie.
No, there's no bad guy except for God himself.
Yep.
Or herself.
Themselves.
I was just going to say Nicolas Cage flies a plane for about 110 minutes.
Yeah, that's the whole movie.
That's the entire movie.
Okay, so let's get to the breakdown. Peaceful piano music plays us in as we go to JFK International Airport to see people going about their business at said airport.
Yeah, this is all their fault for going to JFK instead of LaGuardia.
A woman buys a religious book while Chloe Steele, one of our main characters, calls her mom to verify that her dad, Raymond Steele, one of our other main characters.
All the same characters of the first go around, but a lot better looking.
That's true.
Yeah.
And she's just making sure that Dad's going to be home for his surprise birthday party, which Chloe has come back to New York for. Also, this movie takes place in New York instead of Seattle, for some reason.
I forgot that the first one took place in Seattle. Do you know where it takes place in the books?
I think Seattle.
Oh, really? Well, New York's better. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really arguing. I don't care. It was just one of those, like, why?
Maybe it was cheaper to film it?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Of course, I would be amazed if this movie was filmed on location at all. This is just an airport.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know the airport well enough to be able to say, like, oh yeah, I've been through that Brookstone.
But Mom regrets to inform Chloe that Daddy Ray has been called into work, so he'll be working instead of at his own birthday party. And Mom is played by Leia fucking Thompson. Yep. Also known as Marty McFly's mom.
Yes.
And Caroline in the City.
Yes.
And the woman who made it clear to me that I liked girls.
Yeah. Your biggest crush of all time.
I am so disappointed in her, and I will also always love her forever.
I understand. I also love her, and I am disappointed in her. Although she does play the, like, brain-dead housewife Christian mom well, and I'm hoping it's not because she's become that.
Yeah.
And maybe she's really She's like, no, this is the character.
Right. Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you find yourself needing company, call me.
Oh, Leah. You're talking to Leah now.
Not you.
I thought you were talking to our audience.
My DMs are open.
Yeah, you have his email. It's right there.
So anyway,
nothing but time.
That's true. And as soon as I get over this wicked cough, I think every time I laugh, they're going to hear this background wheeze.
Probably.
Come out of my body.
Yeah.
And I guess I got to stop having a sense of humor.
Good luck.
All right. We're back to the airport, though. And we meet international reporter Buck Williams, also from the first one, played by Kirk Cameron originally.
Fucking Tristan from Gilmore Girls, one of my early crushes.
There you go.
Not my early crushes, because that didn't come out until I was in high school.
Yeah, you were in your teens.
Yeah, but still.
Buck is signing autographs, and the same woman who bought the religious book earlier starts to preach at him about how he's always in the middle of war zones and natural disasters, but God knew it was all going to happen.
Yeah, this one's got crazy eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And pointy eyebrows.
And this all happens right near Chloe, who interrupts and points out that if God knew all of these horrible things were going to happen, he easily could have prevented them. And so Chloe and this woman have a contentious argument as Buck just looks on embarrassed, mostly, and uncomfortable.
And attracted.
And it also should be noted here that in one of the typical movies we would do, it would be the unbeliever who's clearly cast as the villain, or the wrong-headed one in the argument.
You're right.
But the religious lady is clearly supposed to come off as a smug bitch.
And and a crazy person.
And a crazy person.
Yeah, you're right.
So...
this movie is written from the opposite point of view. Christians might be right about the apocalypse coming, but it's because God's a dick and all the followers are crazy.
Yeah. So after the argument's over, we're left to agree with Chloe that God, according to this woman's belief in him at least, is an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? I don't know if this movie was...
Does it know its point of view?
Apparently not.
All right. Good, we're starting strong.
But Chloe excuses herself because she lashed out at this woman, and Buck sort of looks on, like you said, confused but also aroused.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's into it.
He's got a very confusing...
I'm into his leather jacket.
He's got a confusing boner.
And confusing facial hair. A weird patch just underneath his jawline that was distracting. Did you notice?
No.
Okay, me neither.
We now meet sexy flight attendant Hattie Durham. Mm-hmm. And again, every character name is the same as it was.
I know, I kind of wish they had changed the names. The names are so stupid.
But we get some smooth pornographic jazz as she's like sprucing herself up in the bathroom or whatever.
Her, like latex lipstick on.
Mm-hmm. And she heads into the airport for work. The same place that our last main character, Raymond... Rayford?
She meets him in the parking garage.
Right.
Okay, that's not what we're talking about.
But he's in his car, and he takes off his wedding ring because he's getting ready to go inside.
She sees him, though. He sees her, yeah.
And, of course, as we should note, this is motherfucking Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. But who, by the way, tell me if I'm wrong, looks a lot like Tim Allen in the early stages of his Santa Claus transformation.
Oh.
In this movie.
It's been a really long time since I saw it.
Like, when Tim Allen only gains weight in his face. And his body's still not big yet, but he just shaves and his hair grows back and all that.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like him. A little bloated.
Good old bloated
downturned eyes. Creepy.
But as he joins sexy flight attendant on the elevator, we're just supposed to think it doesn't count if it's 30,000 feet in the air.
She's also wearing fucking stilettos, which is not
which you'd wear.
An intelligent pair of shoes for flight attending.
Maybe it's one of those companies where you have to be super sexy.
No, that doesn't happen anymore. They can be sued.
I know.
That's not a 2014 problem.
I know.
Also, no, seriously, she should not be wearing shoes that she can't stand in for 9 hours or however long.
6.
6-hour flight, but she's also walking through the airport.
Right.
And
you're right. Yeah. She's got to travel.
Yeah,
she probably gets one of those guys in the little,
there's
go-karts.
No way everyone's feet swell a little bit on airplanes.
That's true.
Yeah, whatever.
But we're supposed to basically get the idea that Nic Cage is getting ready maybe for a rendezvous.
They're boinking.
And like we said, it doesn't count if you're in the air.
I guess.
You're not confined to gravity, so your marriage no longer applies.
All right.
So we're back to Chloe, where Buck finds her, and he tells her that he enjoyed her speech. Of course, she apologizes because it was a somewhat unhinged thing to do. Mm-hmm. But no, he really did truly enjoy it, and now they begin to flirt?
I guess so.
They begin to speak.
They look at each other and seem to be interested.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she does that thing where you give the guy a hard time.
Yeah.
And he does the thing where he plays it off. He's It's just, oh, I will deflect all of your barbs.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be what flirting is.
It's flirting, I guess.
She opens up to him about how her mother believes all the same nonsense as that preaching woman that she was arguing with. And Chloe's sort of been preparing to confront her about all of that. And then Buck offers to buy her a coffee. But Chloe refuses and tell him that she's waiting for someone.
Her father. Don't worry. She does explain that immediately.
Right. Because he's initially discouraged that she's spoken for, but then she reveals that it's Dad. But she doesn't actually say that they're not together.
You're right. And as we've learned, that's not something we can assume in these kind of movies.
So I think we're forced to assume that old Nicky is just a player.
Yeah.
He's got a wife and a daughter and a sexy flight attendant.
Yeah.
So he's just...
Women all over the place.
Women all over the place for Nic Cage.
He's so bloated and gross.
But, as Nic Cage is going to the airport, he sees Chloe, and so he stops to talk to her. And then Buck introduces himself before, leaving the two to bond very awkwardly together.
Mm-hmm.
But over the course of this very awkward conversation, Chloe tells him that when she was told he was working, she was expecting Mom to tell her that he'd actually just officially left. Because they've apparently been having some pretty rough times since her mom's conversion to Christianity.
Right.
And so she's expecting Dad to just get up and take all of his shit and leave one day. He does fly. He can just put his shit on a plane.
Yeah.
Move to London.
They wouldn't even notice for a while because he could just be taking a bunch of jobs.
That's true. But Nick reassures her that his marriage is fine. But Chloe absolutely doesn't believe him and points out that Mom's new religion has driven a significant wedge between them and her. So that includes Chloe and Nic Cage and her mom. It's just awkward.
Yep.
Because apparently every time they have a conversation, she starts talking about Jesus. Which, to be fair...
It's annoying as hell.
Would be very annoying.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage pretends to support Mom. And he says that one of the only good lines of the movie is, if she's going to run off with another man, why not Jesus?
Sure.
It's not, as bad as everything else.
Yeah. Especially in Nic Cage's voice.
Right. And Chloe then asks him where his ring is, his wedding ring. And Nick tells a very obvious lie, especially because he's flustered for a second.
Right.
That he doesn't wear it when he flies. He never has.
Cool. That doesn't explain anything.
But she initially says, where's your wedding ring? Where's your ring? And he goes, oh, shit. Oh, God.
Yeah, his eyes his eyes get all big.
He's like, oh, right. I don't wear it when I fly. Totally what I meant. The whole... Yeah. That long pause was just me... Remembering.
What I've been doing for years. I don't know.
It's not even... It's not that it's an obvious lie, because it would be anyway. Right. It's that it was an obvious lie done obviously.
Right. Subtlety is not Nick's forte.
Yeah, obviously I exaggerated, but he didn't exactly not do that. No. He's just like, oh God, she caught me. It's like he narrates his thoughts. You could have heard him say 3 different lies and then settle on one, and it would have been more subtle than what he does do. You'd be like, oh, a badger bit it off. No. The dry cleaner stole it.
I lost it.
Yeah. No. I don't wear it when I fly. That's the one.
Hand swelled up. Had to cut it off.
But Nic Cage says that he'll talk to Chloe when he gets back from his flight, but she'll be gone by then, in her own words, because she was just here for his birthday. Yep. Love you, miss you. Go easy on Mom. Bye. That's how that conversation ends.
Yeah. Well, and here's my car keys. Take the car.
Oh, right. Yeah. It makes sense. What else are you going to do?
Well, she was planning on... She had another way to get there.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway,
what was her initial plan?
I'm assuming taxi.
Yeah.
It's New York.
But the character dynamic exposition scene is over, so we can relax just a little bit. But of course, Buck lingers in the area because he still thinks Chloe's real cute. Mm-hmm. And, she is. Yeah. And he tries to lure her by pretending to be a good listener. So she continues to complain about her mom's ridiculous religion, while Nic Cage flirts with the hot blonde on the plane.
Ugh. It's disgusting.
And in a private moment with another flight attendant, the sexy blonde confesses that she and Captain Steele have a rendezvous planned in London. And it's Nicolas Cage, of course. It's going to be sexy.
It makes me so nauseated.
But as Chloe and Buck say their goodbyes, and he tries to get her number, he's boarding the plane that Nic Cage is flying. Right. An airport worker comes by and sees Chloe, and hands her the U2 tickets in London for her dad. He says, give these to your dad. And it took him 2 weeks to find these things, he says, revealing to Chloe that old Nicky had this planned for a while. Yep. At least 2 weeks.
Right. So it's not a last-minute trip.
It's not a last minute.
That's ruining his birthday.
Right. So she gives the tickets to Buck to pass on to her dad, writing a little note on it before she hands them to him. And then she drives home dejected after finding Dad's wedding ring in the car.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least he didn't lie about it. He did say it was in the car.
That's true. And the only thing that's really... what's the word I'm looking for? One of the few positive traits of this movie is, at least in this scene, they do not treat the audience like we're idiots. Because most movies we've seen on this show are going to explain this. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, oh, 2 weeks. That means that he's had this plan the whole time.
You're absolutely right.
But what actually happens is they just say, like, yeah, it took me a while to find these.
Yeah.
And she's just like...
2 weeks, huh?
Yeah, damn.
All right.
Right. And we're supposed to piece it together.
Yeah.
And so it could be said, at least it doesn't treat us like we're absolute morons.
True.
Yeah, it's still not good. But small victories is what we're looking for.
I'll take what we can get.
So we're back on the plane. And Nic Cage is flying, and Sexy Hattie is attending, and Buck is writing, and we meet the rest of the motley crew of passengers that will be relevant to us as the bad thing happens. We get, senile old people, the good-natured cameraman, a little person, douchey business guy, all the tropes.
Right.
And Chloe heads back home, and she catches up with little brother, whose name doesn't matter because he's going to be dead in 6 minutes.
Raimi. Another stupid name.
But I was just like, fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
And Mom, of course, we catch up with her, and she is still stunning.
Yeah, she's
shocking
beautiful.
no one.
She's beautiful.
She will always be beautiful. She will be a corpse, and I'll be like,
yes.
Still sexy. Of course, she will not be a corpse for 40 more years minimum.
Yeah, it's true.
She's 57, so.
Yeah, she does not look 57.
I know. Chloe and Mom catch up, even more awkwardly than she and Nic Cage did, with Chloe basically calling her crazy, which of course motivates Mom to make an emotional plea for her to be ready and let her talk about her faith without being cut off. But of course, Chloe doesn't want it. She just accidentally called you crazy.
Yeah. Please stop. Please, God, stop. Please.
Please just make this end. But of course, Mom continues with her little God talk, as a true Godbotherer does. Mm-hmm. And this drives Chloe out of the room because, of course, fuck this. I don't want to do this.
Yep, I'm with Chloe.
And I'm skipping a little plainer interlude they do, because they cut to the plane and I don't really care. And we're skipping to the part where Chloe goes to the mall with her little brother, because she just needs to get away from Mom for a little bit. Yeah,
they go to the mall in the 90s somehow.
That's true.
They time travel back to the peak of the mall.
That's right.
Era.
But when they're headed over there, they talk just a little bit about whether or not Chloe thinks that Mom is crazy or brainwashed. But it doesn't last long because, as all Christian movies work, we must cut as often as possible. So, like Hillary said, we are at a mall in the 90s. Mm-hmm. It is outdoor.
Yeah.
And we are watching...
It's indoor.
Okay.
They have skylights.
Oh. That's worse. Okay.
Well, like most malls have skylights.
No. There's a reason I thought this was outdoor. We're going to talk about it later.
Okay.
But we do watch breakdancers perform in the middle of this mall, as a crowd around them claps to a beat that does not remotely match.
It was so horrible.
The music's like, do, 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 and the claps are...
Yeah, no, you do that, I'll do the clapping. Ready?
Do, 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 do. It's like, what are you doing?
At least they were all in time with each other.
Yeah, the claps were synchronized to a completely different song.
Right. Likely, this music was added afterwards.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Obviously, they didn't even try to find something that was in rhythm with
it's just so weird.
Footage.
And, like, as it continues, I'm getting more and more upset about the claps because I'm watching it. And I'm just like, why? Who did this?
It's hard to appreciate the really awesome street dancing, actually, because I'm so distracted by the bad claps.
I honestly couldn't tell you if the breakdancing was good or bad.
There's a lot of head work, which I'm always impressed by.
I was so pissed off about the clapping, just the whole time. I was like, who coordinated this? And why are they employed? But okay, we're back on the plane, and Nic Cage leans in to Hattie for a kiss before telling her that he got the tickets. He doesn't actually kiss her.
Yeah.
He just gets really close to her face and says, I got him. Ugh. Which is the weirdest, creepiest, sexiest thing Nic Cage can do. But... as he sort of hands her to him, he is distracted by the note that Chloe wrote on the envelope, but we don't get to see it quite yet. And so now we're back at the mall again, and as Chloe is hugging little Raimi, the rapture happens in a flash of light, and so she is left holding a bundle of his clothes.
Yeah.
Or really just his clothes.
Yeah.
Except now there's no body in there.
Right.
Which is pretty weird.
It all falls to the ground. It's weird.
And of course this happens on Nic Cage's plane at the same time, So everyone is left stunned. Fucking me. What? What are you gonna say?
No, just enjoying it. A little bit to get mad at yourself.
But this also happens on Nic Cage's plane at the same time, and everyone left is stunned as children and people all around the world have disappeared.
Just, by the record, on the plane is just children and, like, 2 dudes.
Yeah, but one of them is Nic Cage's co-pilot.
3 dudes, then.
Yeah.
Forgot about that guy.
But
no women. Because women are the worst sinners.
There was one child.
Even the old lady, the old demented lady, her husband got taken and not her.
Weird.
It was weird.
Yeah, the little girl did, but that's not a woman, obviously.
No, all the kids. Yeah, all the kids, and then no adult women.
No adult women.
Yeah.
Weird. But we see balloons float into the air of the mall while clothing falls from the sky.
Yeah. What were those people doing in the air?
That's my question.
Yeah.
So, why are clothes falling from the sky? But little brother's clothes were left with Chloe as she was, like, holding him. So it's like, did he float a bunch of kids up into the sky and then disappear their bodies to make them fall through the light? Or was there a bunch of kids floating on a magic carpet that happened to be flying above the mall, and then their clothes fell off because their bodies weren't in them anymore?
Was it one of those, like, mega malls that has, like, the roller coaster or something?
Yeah.
I don't know, because, it has a carousel.
Right. And this is why I assumed it was an outdoor mall.
Right. Because you thought maybe kids were...
it would make more sense.
Parasailing?
It just makes more sense to me if the kids were outside and the clothes are falling into the mall from the outside.
Yeah.
Instead, they're falling...
How would they be up there?
It doesn't make sense either way.
Right.
But the question is, if it's just skylights, now I really have questions.
Yeah, there's no reason. It's an interesting choice that they made.
Yeah, it's very strange.
For drama, but no logic. Not that any of this is based on logic.
Right. And then, of course, because it's the Rapture, a unmanned vehicle drives through the mall door, and I guess almost hits Chloe, not really.
Yeah.
She just sees it, and she's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Weird, though, or not weird, but just fucked up, though, is the car did have a person in it.
Yeah, a woman.
A woman.
Because the man probably got taken.
The man got taken, so she's dead.
Yeah.
And we see her corpse, basically.
Yeah.
It's just like...
Unless she just, like, got knocked out or something.
Yeah, that's weirdly morbid.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, well. And she never, like... grabbed the wheel or anything?
I don't know.
She fell unconscious right away?
Maybe she was taking a nap when it happened.
That'd be hilarious. But she's completely fine because she's
They're on a road trip. Yeah, exactly. Just a little cut up, a little bruised.
Okay, so back on the airplane, Buck, intrepid reporter that he is, begins to film so that he can get, on-the-ground footage of what's happening, as the remaining passengers on the plane begin to pound on the cockpit door to find out what's really happening.
Right. Do people think that pilots are omniscient?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they don't believe him when he says he doesn't know what's happening. Why would he know what was happening? He's flying a plane.
That's new commercial airline technology.
Yeah.
You just disappear people.
Right.
Like, why would you possibly... And how's yelling at me going to help you? You're in a plane still.
Tell us what's happening. He's like, I'm flying this fucking plane. You're in the air right now. Right. I'm keeping us alive.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, literally... You can.
I understand people panicking and like having like, but storming the cockpit, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Or even when they start yelling at him later.
Yeah,
it's like, just tell us what's going on. Well, he's like, once again, I am just a human being like you.
I have no idea.
I am just I'm just a pilot.
Yeah, I wish I knew.
Right.
Because I would feel a lot better too.
If I find out, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm. But Nic Cage decompresses the cabin to make sure that everyone gets back in their seat. While chaos reigns in the mall. There's looting and people are rioting. I love that the first
thing people do when anything gets weird is start grabbing shit.
Yeah, just steal some shit, man.
It's not at all my first thought.
But Chloe leaves in a panic alongside everyone else, and she must now navigate the dangerous streets to head home, while Nicolas Cage realizes that even the air tower has stopped responding because they too were good and faithful Christians. He goes out to talk to the passengers, and this is when they're yelling at him, and he promises them that he will tell them anything he finds out, but right now, what he needs to be doing is getting focused on flying this plane, and not crashing it into the ground, or anything else.
Right.
Which is relevant.
Yes.
And it mostly soothes them, but they're still just like, I just need answers.
He knows more than he's telling.
Right. And so there's a montage of tragedy, and it continues for like half an hour, this movie. And I'm going to skip all of it.
Good. It goes on for so long.
Yeah. But I'm going to give you just a few quick highlights to sort of get the idea.
Like the whole mall turning into Black Friday. It's like, my kid's gone. I gotta steal this TV. Uh-huh. And that's exactly what happens.
I assume that was one of the people without kids.
I mean, who knows?
Or at least not kids with them there who were missing at that point.
Right. And then, yeah, whatever. Keep going. What are you
just, people are really sad and lots of people fight. And on the plane, the Muslim gets yelled at by the little person about God. At the mall, there's looting and rioting. Nic Cage has to avoid another plane in the air. Mm-hmm. And it's all very harrowing.
The Muslim guy looks just like Jeremy Sisto. I had to look it up to see if it was him.
That's funny.
It's not him.
No, it's not him.
But he looks like him.
But yeah, he's like, we should pray. And the little person's like, pray to who? Your God? Mine? Clearly, blah, blah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, he's a grump. He's a grump.
He's a grump. He has been very sensitive about his
stature.
Height this entire movie.
Right.
He was yelling at a child about it earlier.
Right. But now that child's in heaven, so it's fine.
It's fine. And then, for her part, Chloe on the ground narrowly dodges a crashing plane herself. A small, Cessna flies into the parking lot, and she has to jump over a car and hide.
But it explodes her car, so now she's out of options.
That's right. And so now she has to make her way home, on foot, basically. And along the way, she stops by the hospital for no reason.
She decides to look for her brother there. She goes there to look for her brother.
Is that why she went there?
That's exactly.
That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. She's like, he was right here and then he disappeared. I guess he's at the hospital. She got that. She's like, I'm looking for my brother. She goes in, and she goes into the baby wing.
He's not a baby.
No, the newborn baby wing where all the babies are gone. And then she's like, I'm looking for my brother. And the woman's like, the woman with the purple eyes. Mm-hmm. Why does she have purple eyes?
I don't know.
She's like, they're all gone, not just here, but everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Have you seen my brother?
Yeah, it's like, no, but my brother, though. He was at the mall. Yeah, I'm assuming he's here.
It's extremely strange.
Right.
But eventually, Chloe makes it home and realizes that her mom is gone, too. And it's all very upsetting. Mm-hmm. Nicolas Cage begins to piece together the mystery because he sees his co-pilot's watch. And it has John 3:16 inscribed on the face.
He starts suspecting ahead of he suspects what's going on, and then he starts digging around trying to find proof of his theory, and he does.
Yeah, so he finds that, and so he's like, "Okay, that's a clue."
Oh, the other flight attendant, that's a woman. She got up there.
That's right. Sweet. That's the adult woman who went.
At least an adult woman who went.
And that's related to this because he asks for the rest of her things, like her purse or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes through it, and he finds that she was also a Christian. She had a Bible study planned for Wednesday or something.
Right.
So he's like, okay, she's a Christian. My co-pilot, her, Christians, my wife,
children,
we'll see, the kids. He's like, okay, I was told about this by my wife. And he's explaining this to the sexy blonde flight attendant.
Yeah.
And she's like, how do you even know about this stuff? You've never talked about God in your life. Yeah. In my experience.
Right.
And he's like, my wife told me.
And she's like, what the fuck?
You have a wife?
Not the best time, buddy.
Yeah, so she's upset with him because he's revealed that he's married. And of course, while this is happening, the passengers are trying to work out the mystery for their own part, and Jordan Sparks finally realizes the truth of the matter. Mm-hmm. And that's that her husband has paid everyone on the plane to kidnap her daughter and pretend that she was raptured instead.
Yep.
The bad news, though, is Jordan Sparks has a gun for some reason.
No one knows why.
Just brought it onto the plane.
Where the fuck did she get a gun, and how did she get it? This is post 9/11.
Yeah.
How did that gun get on that airplane?
So she points it.
Oh, wait, no. Remember one of the dudes that disappeared had a badge and a gun? He was an air marshal or
that
something?
Would make sense.
I think she took it from him.
Okay.
Because they did show his gun holster empty.
That's right. Okay. The air marshal disappeared.
Just piece that together. Yes. Right. But still, her point, women are come across as very insane in this movie.
Right. And she points the gun at everybody and she says, why are you all doing this? And Buck Williams is a famous international reporter. And the other people they're all in first class. These people have money. They don't need to be bribed by her weird husband.
No, and their first class seats are weird.
Yeah. I just presume that's what first class looks like.
It's not. I've been in first class. I don't know what airline they're with, but those are bizarro, retro future seats.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
But she just points the gun at everyone. She threatens to, shoot them if they don't tell her what the truth is. She literally points to the little guy.
Yeah.
She goes, what if I just shoot you in the face? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Now your daughter probably still wouldn't be here, and there'd be a hole in the plane. People wielding guns in airplanes boggle my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, I understand if you want us to die, but you're killing yourself too if this plane goes down.
Right. But while this is happening, Chloe is at home. Like I said, she realizes her mom is gone. Mm-hmm. She also finds her mom's Bible. And in her Bible is the prayer list that Mom kept, and of course it has her family's names on it.
Mm-hmm. And Bill from work.
And Bill from work. And Chloe sees this and she gets really frustrated and chucks the Bible out the window in rage and sadness.
Yeah.
But of course we've seen this before and we know that she's eventually going to be reading it. It's just... Although I don't think that happens in this movie.
I think they really were counting on a sequel. That's the only way I can...
Absolutely.
That's the only thing I can think of, because this movie makes no sense and comes to no conclusion.
Oh, they started this movie planning for a sequel.
Right.
Not a doubt. And, of course, they said
I guess that 1% on Rotten Tomatoes didn't get... Number two. Number 2 didn't get quite pushed into production.
I'm really curious about that 1%.
1%?
Who's the person?
Christian, probably.
I know, but, like... Who is this person?
I mean,
how did they see this?
It's not 1 out of 100, so it could be like a handful of people out of thousands or something.
I know, that's my question, is who's this one person? Because a lot of Christian movies don't get good ratings because a lot of Christian, like, review outlets aren't really on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
Because you can't trust them.
There are people who just straight up love Nic Cage and anything he does.
Yeah, so I'm just curious.
There are people who love it ironically.
When we're done here, I wanna look up the Rotten Tomatoes, the one positive review. It's probably only one positive review. Okay. But... where are we? Oh, and so we're back on the plane, and one of the other passengers finally does begin to explain the truth to Jordan Sparks while she's still threatening to shoot everybody. Mm-hmm. And she basically says that it's all foretold in the Bible, and that God caused the disappearances, taking everyone who's gone to heaven. And Jordan Sparks is like, oh, that's crazy. I should shoot myself in the heart.
Yes.
She points the gun into her own heart, and he's like, I should just do this. Everyone's like, okay, that's not helpful in any way. You're still going to ruin the plane. Right. You're going to shoot yourself in the heart.
If your kid is still out there, you're going to be dead.
Yeah, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, women are crazy, right?
But Chloe now finds herself at a church, her mom's church, and she's told that God took all the people by the preacher who was there. This is Bruce Barnes from the first couple of movies of this we did. Yep. He's not in this movie except for this one scene. Right. But he is basically a preacher who was lapsed and didn't really believe it. Mm-hmm. So when his entire congregation was gone, he was left behind. Right. Because he didn't actually believe it to be true. And so she's pissed, Chloe is, because God killed her family. Yeah. Which is true. Yeah. She also assumes Nic Cage is dead, and she doesn't want to worship such an asshole. Yeah. And those aren't the exact words she uses, but pretty close. Right. She does say, God killed my family.
Your God is a dick.
But she's told by Bruce that God took her family to protect them from the dark times that are coming. And so, she argues with him a little bit about this and how that's all crazy. Yeah. But he eventually implores her to just listen to him. And she tells him, why should I listen to you? You didn't even listen to you.
Yeah, great point.
Which is the second only good line in this movie.
Agreed.
But she runs away, and now we're back on the plane, and Nic Cage finally gets in contact with air traffic control, and he's told that he has to land inland, as they simply don't have any runways that are available. Right. And of course
the airport's shut down. Apparently there are a bunch of planes on there that aren't moving.
Yeah. And of course that's bad and also very hard, and so Nic Cage is like, well, we're gonna die. Yeah. Yep. They also ran out of fuel earlier during the bad stuff montage.
Oh, right, when everything was going wrong, because there was an airplane where both of the pilots were Christian.
That's right.
So they ran into him.
Yeah, so...
clipped the wing, sent the fuel firing out the back.
Right. So they've lost a lot of fuel, they narrowly dodged another plane, it was a whole thing. But like I said, I skipped it because it was just...
boring.
Yeah, tragedy montage, who cares?
Yeah.
So, for her part, Chloe goes to a bridge so she can jump from it.
I guess so.
And then back on the plane, Buck Williams and Nic Cage start to talk about the situation. And essentially landing somewhere that's not a runway is not possible. Partially because they're low on fuel. Mm. They've lost a lot of technology on the plane. They haven't seen
Sully.
They haven't seen Sully at all. They don't know how to do this. So they're basically just saying, we're probably going to die. That's just how it's going to happen, probably. And just as Chloe climbs to the highest point that she can reach on the bridge, the boys talk about how great she is and how Nic Cage really shouldn't have left her on today of all days. It's his birthday. Yeah. And we finally see that the note that Chloe wrote on his ticket envelope is, this is the saddest day of my life. Because she realized that Dad was specifically leaving town to get away from her mom.
To be with another woman. To go see you two, of all things.
That would be the saddest part.
That would be the most upsetting thing.
You'd be like, really, Dad? You
made this man hunt for U2 tickets?
You're going in London?
For 2
and you can't
weeks?
find a good band to see?
No kidding.
But, so Nic Cage just wishes that he could talk to her one more time before he crashes into New York City. Apparently they turned around, so it wasn't at the half-hour mark, or the halfway mark, or whatever.
It was closer to go back to New York.
But now she's prepared to leap from the bridge, and Chloe says a little prayer to her dead mom in heaven. And just as she finishes and is about to jump, her phone rings because it's Buck fucking Williams. Mm-hmm. And he's got a satellite phone because he's an international reporter.
And she's gotten a lot higher up.
Oh, that's right. That's stupid. I realize that's why
she's basically on an antenna.
Oh, I hate you. Not you, but also you for making me realize.
Sorry.
That's why her phone works now. God damn it. But Buck puts her on the phone with Dad, and he confirms that the rest of the family is gone and dead. She confirms. She tells Nic Cage, yeah, Mom and little kid, they're gone.
They're gone.
But she's like, hey, you're alive, that's great. So they then talk about how Mom warned them about this, and that they love each other just so much, and Nick is sorry that he lied and he isn't there with her now. And Chloe realizes that there's an issue, because those are very ominous things to say on your phone call.
Right.
And so she asks what's going on, and Dad reveals that the plane is almost certainly going to crash. And despite killing herself, or going to kill herself, because she thought her family was all gone now, and basically receiving a message confirming that,
right,
Chloe decides to climb down from the bridge and steal a motorcycle instead.
Well, she has an idea.
Yeah. But the owner, was raptured, so is it really stealing?
No, it's not stealing at this point. Now you're in survival mode.
That's right.
This is Walking Dead. All cars are your cars.
Yeah. But the weird thing for me was like, oh, I should kill myself. My whole family's dead. And then your dad calls and he's like, I'm also going to die.
Yeah, but he's like, this is the problem. She's like, I can solve that problem.
Yeah. It's fair. It's just one of those like slightly goofy things.
Right. But also that she didn't communicate that while she still had cell service.
Well, they did get cut off.
Did they get cut off?
I think so. I think they lost the signal. Yeah. So Nic Cage warns the passengers that this is going to be very tough landing, whatever they're doing, but he's going to try to put the plane down in the water. So fasten your seatbelts, bitches.
Yes.
Again,
Sully.
I wish that was. Now, he's still hoping that he can find a clear runway, of course, but trying to land in the water is much better than trying to fly a plane into a full airstrip where you will just hit everything else and explode. So, but while Chloe is doing her plan, she does manage to call Buck back, and she tells him that she's clearing space on the highway so that they should have space to land. She's got about a half-mile cleared so far, and Nic Cage tells her that he needs at least a mile if he's going to land this thing.
Right, and is it really cleared, or did she just push some of the cones to the side with the truck?
Yeah.
She's not really clearing it. The plane's much wider than that truck.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how but let's just...
Whatever.
You can't land a plane with some traffic cones in the way. That's just facts.
But they're still in the way. Let's go on.
But he also points out that they don't have guidance, so they don't really know where she is.
Right.
So Buck has her read out the reading from her compass phone on her app.
Yeah.
Her compass app on her phone.
Right.
So that...
Yeah, location.
Yeah, so they can find her the good old-fashioned way, I guess. And...
Coordinates. That's what it's called.
That's the word.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so she's trying to clear more space. She starts to drive one of those big steamrollers.
Yeah.
She starts to drive a steamroller. Apparently they move very slowly.
I guess they do. I've never seen them move quickly.
They don't move that slowly, though.
I don't think they move that slowly. I think maybe she didn't know how to work it.
Yeah, that was comically slow.
Yeah.
But it's all very exciting, and the plane hurtles down toward her just as they run out of fuel. So this makes it even harder, because now there's no fuel to help them thrust as they go down. So he's basically just going to hit the brakes on a, 40-ton piece of machinery?
That's what he said, yeah.
As they hit the ground and just hope they can stop it.
It's a 200-ton at some point.
I don't know how heavy it is.
I have no idea. That's all infinity to me.
Yeah, but the point is it's heavy as shit.
Right.
And just hitting the brakes is going to be really hard.
Those tiny wheels.
Yeah. So, Oh, and they need Chloe to light something so that they can tell where the landing zone really begins.
Right.
A flare would be good, but obviously a truck's lights aren't bright enough. And Buck points out that the 9/10 of a mile that Chloe has managed to carve out, because that's where they've settled, is she can get 9/10, but she can't do the whole mile. And Buck points out, this is not enough, is it? And Nic Cage says, no, but I wasn't going to tell her that because...
I didn't want her to blame herself.
Right, because if we don't make it,
yeah,
I don't need her thinking like, if only I've gotten the other 10th of a mile.
Yeah.
Which is
good.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's cute.
So Chloe lights a giant fire,
Yeah.
Which is at least...
She explodes some gasoline tanks.
That's right.
That just happened to be there.
Which is a major source of light, at least.
It worked.
And of course the landing comes and my heart is flutter with anticipation and tension. Of course, this is probably because I was very deathly ill while I was watching this.
Right.
And my heart was already beating really fast.
Correct. That was your white blood cells.
Yeah.
Trying to kill some bacteria.
Yeah, I was just...
Or virus.
Literally, all day yesterday. I was just like, oh, my heart.
Does your heart feel like it's hiccuping sometimes?
No.
Okay.
Like in your day-to-day life?
Yeah.
You should talk to somebody.
I should. I get insurance in 6 months.
Yeah. Yeah, that's bad. I don't think it's normal.
It's not regular. It's like every now and then.
Is it new?
I guess you could say it's irregular.
Is it new?
No. Yeah, no. It just happens so rarely that I don't think about it. But then when it happened like yesterday or the day before, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Sometimes it does that. Mm-hmm. That's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, that's not normal.
It's been years.
All right, give me a second.
Sorry.
No, I just gotta recover. I've been coughing and sniffling.
I could have grabbed you some lozenges.
Yeah, I think I have some.
I mean, no, we have like bags of them at home.
Yeah. So the plane scrapes its way down the highway before ultimately landing just inches from a tankard of explosive gas. Everyone lives!
Woohoo!
Except the millions of people who did not.
Right, but they're in a better place.
They're in a much better place.
Whatever. They didn't get to jump down one of those blow-up slides, which is one of my dreams in life. I don't want to narrowly survive a plane crash, but I desperately want to slide down one of those slides out of an airplane.
Yeah, so you've got to probably just go to the...
Preferably into water, because I can have my little life vest on.
Yeah, so you want to
So I didn't want to go to heaven. I'd rather stay on Earth and have that experience.
But you'd have to probably just go to the airport and hire plane.
Or become a flight attendant and go through training, because that's part of training.
That's right, but they probably don't do it in water in the training.
No, they don't.
Because how would you get a plane on the water to do it?
Yeah.
But yeah, just become a flight attendant. You could do that.
I've considered it. But it's basically retail in the sky.
Yeah, I know.
In a smaller space where you can't escape.
I know.
No, thank you. There's not enough Xanax in the world for that.
But now they are on the ground, and there's some explosions and stuff because there was a giant fire, but who cares? And Buck says that it looks like the end of the world. And Chloe gives us the sequel hook and points out that this is only the beginning.
Or is it?
And then we get a musical rendition of...
the worst song of all time.
I wish we'd all been ready. Do you know this song?
No, is it a real song?
Oh, it's a real song.
I mean, it's a real song because it's in the thing. But
but it's a real song.
What is it?
It's called I Wish We'd All Been Ready.
Is it not a Christmas, it's like a Christian...
rapture song, yeah.
I've never heard that before.
Oh, well, that's what they play over the ending credits of this. It's absolutely insane, and you do need to hear it for yourself.
Okay.
I will certainly post a link to it.
I can tell you I did not listen to the whole song. Yeah. I did not sit through those credits.
I will definitely post a link to it in our social media or somewhere.
Okay.
You have to hear it. But the weird thing about it, Jordan Sparks, who was in this movie...
did not sing it.
...recorded a version of the song for this movie.
And they didn't use it?
And yet the version they play over the end credits is not the one that she did for the movie.
What the fuck?
It's very strange.
That is very strange. There's no way her version is worse than this.
No. And I listened to it, and it's not even that different. They both do the...
Maybe she wanted more money.
I don't know. But she recorded it. It's on the soundtrack. There's a soundtrack to this.
So weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. But that's it. That's the whole movie.
Yay!
I Wish We'd All Been Ready is insane.
This is the longest goddamn fucking movie.
Oh, I know.
It's so boring.
Short episode because we skipped a lot of the nonsense.
Right.
But this movie is an hour 45.
Right. This is an hour and 45-minute movie that covers about 10 to 15 minutes of the original Left Behind that we watched.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
This is just like if that one scene in the airplane from the first original movie was extended to be its own full-length movie for no reason. That's this movie.
All right, so let's talk about the best and the worst.
Oh, fuck.
What's the best thing about this movie?
You go first.
The best thing about this movie is the fact that God is the villain, and that's just hilarious.
Okay, that's great.
There is no actual bad guy of this movie that is a human or a force of nature or anything except God.
You're absolutely right.
Everything that's wrong in this movie is God's fault, and that's just hilarious to me.
I don't have best. There's nothing good about this. I didn't enjoy any part of it, even ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already out of my head. It's completely escaped my brain.
Chad Michael Murray's in it? Is that?
Yeah, but he's not my type anymore.
Oh, okay.
That was like 16-year-old Hillary's type.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Cool. No bests. What's the worst?
This is hard because there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
Having to see Nic Cage as a romantic, potential romantic person. Is that what you were going to say?
Look how wide my eyes are.
I know, your eyes went huge. What did you write down?
My worst is Nic Cage having an affair or a sex life at all.
Yeah. Yes, thinking about him as a sexual being makes me so unhappy.
I don't want it.
So uncomfortable.
I don't want it.
Does he have kids? He has to have kids.
He probably has kids.
Weird looking kids, probably.
Yeah.
No offense. Sorry.
Hair.
Sorry, Nic Cage's kids.
Coppola kids.
Not your fault. Yeah, but like Coppola removed.
Yeah. So now let's talk about some things that are like this that are much better and much more worth seeing.
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Nic Cage movie?
It's the only Nic Cage movie I like. I
compare this is really just a natural disaster movie.
That's not true, I lied. Raising Arizona is a great fucking movie. Go on, sorry.
Well, I compare this is really just a natural disaster movie. So my choice, even though it's not a natural disaster, Snakes on a Plane.
There you go.
It takes place on a plane. It's got Samuel L. Jackson in it.
Right. Far superior to Nic Cage.
So I'm going to say watch Snakes on a Plane instead of this piece of shit.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good. If it's important to you to watch a Nic Cage movie, Raising Arizona, or Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah.
If you're trying to watch an action-packed
plane
movie, yeah.
Snakes on a Plane or
Air Force One. Or, I don't remember if I liked Red Eye. I just like Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
So maybe Red Eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing next week.
Okay.
And by next week, I really mean next month. Because I've decided...
Oh, no.
Almost everything we've done on this show so far has been related to Christianity.
Well, yeah.
That's not entirely our fault. We are Americans, and...
That's the media. We have so much of it.
Yeah,
There's so much of it.
It's what we're most exposed to. It's what's relevant to our lives every day.
Right. It's also the most appalling.
It's also probably the most appalling. But I may give you a run for your money.
Uh-oh.
But I want to take a month off from Christianity.
Okay.
So at least the next 4 things we're doing will not be related to Christians.
Hot damn.
Or Jesus.
Oh.
So we're going to start with this thing.
Scientology TV. So this is important for me.
Yes.
Does this mean that you consider Scientology a religion, or are you just accepting that because the U.S. government considers it a religion,
right,
we can refer to it as such, even though it's clearly a cult,
right,
and there's no religion involved?
I don't honestly know the distinction between cult and religion very well. Yes, obviously cults and religions are different things.
But they're definitely in the same family.
Yeah, they're not that different of things.
Right.
At the very least, it's an argument over degree of zealousness or something.
Right.
So, yes, Scientology is a cult, but also, honestly, most religions are cults. I don't care.
I don't disagree with you. I'm just going by technicalities.
Right. But yeah, if the American government considers it one, sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do Scientology TV.
I mean, they don't have to pay taxes because they...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is relevant to why I texted you yesterday, if you have cable.
I do.
Because that's where Scientology TV is.
I don't know if I have that Is that a channel?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that channel.
Are you sure?
100% sure.
Do.
Why? Why do you think that?
I'm pretty sure it's on every cable package because they bought their way in.
I don't think so. I'll look it up. I'll look into it.
Do you have DirecTV?
Comcast.
I mean, I know what channel it is on DirecTV. I don't know what channel it is on Comcast.
Okay.
But I'm reasonably sure.
DirecTV?
No.
How are you going to watch it?
I'm going to come to your house and we're going to watch it.
Oh! Like, well, how's this happen? I don't understand.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
And just talk about what we saw.
Oh God. Okay.
That's it.
I'll as soon as I get home today, I'll check and see if we have it.
Just check it out. And
if not, we can watch. If not, we can watch like. There's so much out there.
Yeah, we'll watch it either way.
We'll watch something Scientology
That's
based.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're starting our non-Christian month with Scientology.
Amazing! I'm actually really into this.
Yes.
I have the book. Going clear. Yeah, I have that book. I've seen the documentary. Yeah, I'm down. I'm stoked.
So get hype.
Done.
And remember, if you like the show, and how could you not? You just heard that episode. It was fantastic.
Amazing.
Please give us a 5-star review on whatever podcast app or service you are using, and tell your friends about us any way you can, because, like you, we need them.
Yeah.
To like our show, which we just did.
It's true.
And we're doing Scientology, so, We need support.
Yes.
Links to everything
support, and I need to tell people where I am at all times, just in case I go missing.
And links to everything are in the description of this episode, and you can also go to the website and send us a comment or a question so that we can do our mailbag episode. Or at least a segment.
Yeah.
Somewhere. And as always, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, everybody. Except for you, child upstairs.
Bye.
Fuck right off. Goodbye.